You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, this is Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, we're coming here with another great podcast. We certainly appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for being here. As always, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to iTunes. Give us a great review over there. 5 stars. Hit that 5-star button. Tell everybody how much you love the show. We certainly appreciate it. Go see us on YouTube.com/Chris Voss, Goodreads.com/Chris Voss, and all the places, LinkedIn newsletter, big LinkedIn group on LinkedIn, and all that good stuff. Today we have an amazing CEO and founder on the show. CLou is with us today. She runs the organization out of, I believe, is it Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia? Yeah, there you
go.
Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. CLou Capital, LLC. She's the CEO and founder of that company. She's joining us today. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good. So give us your .com so people can find you on the interwebs.
So my website is cloucapital.com. I run a real estate investment and development firm.
Awesome. And so give us a little bit of background on you. How long have you been doing that, and what got you started in that business?
Well, I started about 2 years ago. I was networking like crazy, having like 10 to 15 meetings a day with everyone and anyone in the real estate realm, from brokers to agents to syndicators, underwriters, kind of you name it. And then met a developer. We started building an amazing relationship. And then I started raising capital for him. I raised like $10 million in under 30 days. And then he was like,
wow.
Yeah, we should definitely partner. So now I raise all the capital for our companies and help clients as well raise capital also.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, with different projects that we have.
So what projects do you specialize in?
We specialize in like multifamily, mixed use, new development projects. We have projects all over from Georgia, Florida. We got a land acquisition deal in Arkansas, and one in Franklin, Tennessee. But those are kind of, they're getting their business plans and stuff like that together right now. But a lot of our new development deals are in Georgia and in Florida as well.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you do for, new clients, prospective clients who you're working with, or people that would want to do business with you? Do you handle, all regions across the nation, or do you specialize in kind of that region down in the South?
So when I'm working with clients, I work from the private money standpoint, from the equity position side. But then I also work on debt as well, because we have relationships with banks. And so I'm able to raise capital from the equity standpoint, and then get debt as well for certain projects that we have. And so able to kind of fund it in of itself fully to be able to execute the projects, because we do everything from land acquisition to the construction piece to the development to cutting the ribbon at the end. So we're kind of like an all-in-one company.
Nice. And so if companies are needing that sort of help, they need assistance in getting everything done,
Right.
you guys are the place to go for that.
Yep. Yeah, we're like an all-in-one stop shop. So I'll have clients come to me asking, for help in regards to the debt side and or equity. So I'll reach out to my investors that I have and or the capital partners that I have as well, to help me raise funds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll execute it for them.
Nice. Is there a bottom line limit to what sort of projects you want to work on, like a lower limit to an upper limit, or how does that work?
Yeah, it just depends from project to project. So like I'll get the marketing package and the pro forma, and I'll go over it and do my due diligence on my part. to see if it's a good project for us to work on, what the ROI looks like, what the equity split's going to be, what the gap rates are, for us to figure out if it's going to be a good project for us to do anything with.
Mm-hmm. And it says here you raised money within 30 days. I mean, that's pretty darn quick to raise some money, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But when you have a drive and when you have a why, it becomes different. So I was reaching out to people nonstop, networking, having like 10 to 50 meetings a day. Either if it was like in person, Zoom calls, whatever the case may be. And then just networking and building those relationships, because real estate is mostly based off of relationships. Brokers would rather work with people that they have a relationship with rather than working with someone outside that they have no idea who they are.
Is there any top limit to what you can raise for?
No, I mean, I work with a whole bunch of other private money investors as well, because we have to raise like 150 million in a year or so, give or take.
Wow.
From the debt and equity side. It's probably more than that now, because we just got a massive project as well. We just walked like 80 acres a couple days ago. So it's I'm bringing on more capital partners for different projects. Just because, I would rather share the wealth and bring other people on board that can do the capital raise from the equity position side. And then also show them the ropes and the construction and the development side as well. Because everyone wants to learn and develop their skills. And so with us, that's what we like to do. And especially that's what I like to do. So like if I have a capital partner that wants to raise with me, I'm like, okay, but are you wanting to learn development too? If you don't know anything about development, or are you wanting to learn construction, how we put together our construction list and stuff like that, and our schedules for the construction piece, how we get our vendors together, how we do bids and stuff like that. So it's good. And people like it too, because they want to learn and develop, and they might want to do their own whole development one day too. So it's I try to be like a mentor in that aspects, where if I have a team and they're wanting to learn, like I will try to teach them as much as they want to learn, because if they want to go off and do it too, then of course they can, giving them the ability to be able to be for them to be able to do it.
Awesome. And then you're always looking for investors too, I think, aren't you?
Right. Yeah, so we're always looking for private money investors that are wanting to invest in our projects, because our ROI, it's different from project to project. So, it can range from like 22.6% to like 2x their money within 2 years, or we can cash out refi and, get them their money quicker. There's creative financial ways to, get their money back quicker as well. And then we have, tier 1 banking programs where they can make, 3 to 5% profit each month, their money, and where, it's backed by the banks, by the FDA. And so they're able to pull out their money every single month from those 3 to 5% profits that they make, or they can put it back into their fund, and they can have the contract for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. Just depends on how we structure the contract and how much they're wanting in there to be able to have their money secure also.
That's pretty brilliant. And are you building a team right now? I'm looking across your LinkedIn and seeing some different posts.
Yeah. So I'm definitely building my team. I just brought on a couple of private money capital raisers, syndicators, looking for more. So if anybody is out there that is wanting to raise capital and split equity position and stuff like that, definitely let me know. I'm probably going to be hiring on and bringing on more people on my team, from an acquisition standpoint, money, and then I'm kind of putting together like a mentorship program to be able to help people like raise capital and how I got started and how I'm doing it as well.
That's pretty awesome. So you'll be able to teach people and get them into it. How did you get interested in real estate? What took you down this road?
I've always loved real estate, but I didn't know how to get into it. I started, me and a couple of my business partners started a woodworking company a couple of years ago. And, I started my real estate business around the same time. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna screw it, just go all in.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like meeting with people, and I was trying to figure out what niche I can get into and where I can fit in the real estate realm. And now I've kind of find my niche, and now I'm here. But it was a lot of hard work, a lot of building relationships, a lot of late nights. 10 to 15 meetings a day. Like, I'm up at 7 and I go to bed sometimes at like 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Like, it's not like I'm working at 9 and, done by 5. It's different. When you have a why, and why you do the things that you do and why you work so hard, it changes your perspective and it makes you work just as hard.
Most certainly does. Most
Yeah.
certainly does. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. Touch on that. How do you find? What are your thoughts on leadership and what leadership is like, and when you're leading teams or leading a project? Because I mentioned there's some leading that gets done there.
Oh yeah, definitely. With leadership, it's listening to your team. What are they wanting as well, to make sure that they are happy. Because if your team isn't happy, then in turn they're not gonna be there for you fully. They're gonna be like trying to get out. So I always try to learn and develop my team. Always try to listen to their wants and needs, and to teach them in different capacities that they are wanting,
Mm-hmm.
different things that they're wanting to get into also. And then, help guiding them into different places, and, just being a good person towards them. Because some leaders, are very like egotistical, and, it's all about them, but you have to make it about we and about
Mm-hmm.
us and about how we can better each other and help one another.
Yeah,
Each
taking people
grow
to the
and
next
grow
level.
and develop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's your big vision for your company? What do you see yourself in maybe 5 to 10 years from now?
Uh, Being the biggest real estate investment development firm in the Southeast. I mean, we're going to clear probably 150 million in a year,
Wow.
probably more than that, by this year. And so we're continuously growing and expanding, and bringing on more people and more projects and stuff like that. But that's not really the goal. I mean, mine is more so about helping people, bringing jobs into communities,
Mm-hmm.
um, helping bring in housing to different communities as well, making a difference in communities. I mean, we do a lot of philanthropy as well. So I have a couple of veteran business partners, and we're trying to build a veterans facility to be able to give back and help, veterans, and give them a place to stay, a place, like a trauma center, for them to kind of get back on their feet, and get their lives back on track also. Because when they have all that trauma and PTSD and stuff like that, instead of just like giving them a pill to like, okay, yeah, you'll be fine, actually like doing something different, like going through therapy, and, really trying to help and resolve the issues that are going on. Because, a lot of them commit suicide, and it's sad. And so then, the parents and then their kids are, suffering, because, it's hard to deal with, going overseas and fighting for your country, and then trying to come back and live a normal life. They're at high alert all the time, and they're like watching their six every 2 seconds, and they're like on high alert, and then they got to come back home and try to be normal. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've spoken with a lot of my veteran business partners and veteran friends, and they're like, yeah, this is definitely something that needs to happen, where they could not commit suicide, and give them a place of comfort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just had Jason Cantor on the show. I think if I've got the name right, he ran for president, and he just wrote his book on PTSD, and it's quite a thing that our
It is.
military folks go through. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So do you see yourself spreading across the nation or kind of staying in the Southeast?
Yeah, I mean, if that's where it takes me, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia now, but if somebody wanted to open up, another site, then I'm willing to do that if somebody wanted to do that. I mean, I love teaching and developing people, and helping other people as well. So if somebody wanted to do that and I can, kind of show them the ropes and how I got started and what I do, then yeah, it's an option.
That's definitely awesome, man. It's wonderful that you're willing to share and teach and I think that's what really great leaders do. They share and teach, they educate people.
Right.
With my employees, I always teach them, why we do things, how we do things, how we develop the idea, mainly
Right.
because I want them to maybe be able to go, oh, so this is why we do stuff.
Right.
Well, here's a better way of doing it, and they
Right.
can do it better.
Uh,
It looks like on your website there's some contact information where people can maybe get in touch with you and have a call or something. Is that
oh yeah. Yeah,
tell us
yeah,
about that?
they can definitely contact me, either, on my website or on LinkedIn. I get a lot of LinkedIn messages from people as well. Or if they want to schedule like a calendar invite, I have a Calendary link, I believe, on my LinkedIn bio as well. So if they want to schedule a call or a Zoom call or anything like that, they can as well.
They can just do a basic call and
Yeah.
talk to you about your services, see if there's a fit there, and all that sort of good stuff. Whether they're an
Yeah.
investor, whether they want to develop and stuff. So I think this is really great. How is the economic areas going on there? I know there's some pressures that are coming from interest rates and stuff like that. How's that affecting commercial and stuff?
Uh, Land is still getting flattened like crazy. I mean, there's like acres of land, I kid you not, being like flattened and developed. Development isn't stopping. It's going, especially if you have, the funding in place and you have a good team, you have a good structure, you know what you're doing, you have the funds in place. You could get it done, as well. And if you're strategic about it too,
Hmm.
with like thinking like 3 steps ahead, 5 steps ahead of what can occur and or not occur. I mean, that's kind of where I get. So I was like a chief of staff for like 12 years or so, give or take. And so, as a chief of staff, you got to strategically plan like 3 to 5 years for a company. Like, okay, what are we going to do? How are you wanting to grow? How fast? How quickly? And strategically putting in place of how to get it done.
Hmm.
And so, help clients, as a chief of staff also, to kind of come on board and help them grow their businesses. So I do that with my company too, so I'm strategic with my business partners, to be able to figure out like, okay, what do we need to do and how do we plan,
Hmm.
and execute to make everything work.
That's the real key is the plan and execute. Because
Yeah.
when you're doing projects, especially timeline projects that move out
Right.
from
Yeah, with
there.
development and construction, I mean, you need to have a schedule of, okay, it's going to take me 16 to 18 months to do this development. This is the construction schedule, and this is how it needs to stay. And it can't slip up. Nothing can, interfere if stuff does, so that's why I have relationships with different vendors, construction companies, GCs, different concrete companies, so that if any of them fall through and screw up any of the projects that we have, I have like 15 other people I can throw in to make sure that nothing gets thrown off track, so that we're keeping on our construction schedule and also our development schedule, so that our investors are getting their money back, before the timeline that we gave them. We
Mhm.
try to, say it would take, 16, 18 months, but it might take 14. It
Mhm.
depends on, the development and the construction piece. But we try to get their money back, quicker than normal.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a lot of growth that is still going on down there in the South. I mean,
It
just
is. It is. But I mean, yeah, there's risk in everything, right?
sure.
There's risk in starting a business. There's risk in driving your car. Every
Yeah.
day you get in your car, you can get in a car accident and you can die. But yet, everyone gets in their car every day. Everyone drives every single day. Going to a 9 to 5 job, you can get let go that day.
Sure.
So there's risk in risk in having a kid, risk in, leaving the house, risk in, walking a shop nowadays. So there's risk in every single thing that you do, but it's the fact is that, are you willing to take that risk?
Mhm.
And, are you wanting to grow? Are you wanting to develop? Are you wanting to, take that risk and do, the things that you have always wanted to do?
Definitely, definitely. It's life is risk. That's why I stay in bed all day and don't get out. But even then, you could still die in bed, or I don't
Right,
know.
right, exactly.
Some
Yes,
spider would
exactly.
come and bite you or something. I don't know. Those are
Right.
the jokes. So what have we covered about your business and how you guys do it?
With what? With the business?
Yeah, what have we covered on your business and how you guys do it?
So with the business side, we, I'll raise the private money from the equity position standpoint, and then also work on the debt side. And then we'll do, the construction and the development. We'll also do the land acquisition. We'll put like a marketing package together, the pro forma, to prevent to investors, to present to them, to, make sure it's a good fit for them. We'll get all the numbers together, the ROI, the gap rates, stuff like that, to figure out if it's something that we even want to pull the trigger on also.
hmm Do people have to have their the land already in place, or are they maybe just have a project and they don't know where to put it, and they just they
Yeah, it could be either or. So it could be like, hey, I found this land. I think this might be a good opportunity. And then we'll kind of do our due diligence, like, hey, okay, these are the demographics. This is what's happening in the area. Like, this is what's being built over here. I think we could add, mixed use property on this parcel of land. This is what the land acquisition is going to look like. These are the parcels we might need to sell. Erosions in the land, there's beaver dams, stuff like that, like going over the due diligence of the land, the area, the property, everything around it, what's coming in the city, what's not, what the pay rates are for in those areas. So we can see like, okay, this is the kind of material we need to put in. Because, if you build something like in the Avalon and the Halcyon here in Alfreda, it's different than trying to build it, like somewhere else,
Mhm.
in a different city. And so being strategic with that as well.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, environmental conditions are definitely going to change. Probably laws,
Yep.
rules,
Right,
regulations,
right.
all those
So,
different things.
yep.
So helping investors or developers navigate that is really important.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because any of that can mess up your deal. Like if you don't have the when you're going through the land and the zoning, if you don't have it, um, in a certain way, you could lose millions of dollars by putting putting the property that you want in the wrong place.
hmm And it sounds like relationships are a really important aspect of business.
Oh
Talk to
yeah.
me a little bit about that. I mean, how it sounds like it's important, but how did you realize it was important, and how much of a difference does it make in your business relationships?
Oh yeah. Just in business in general, relationships are really important. Um, I've learned that along the way in my career, but definitely in real estate, relationships are key because, again, brokers are wanting to work with people that they have a relationship with rather than people that they don't. Um, like a developer and or architect and stuff like that, like they would want to partner with somebody that they have had a relationship before, that they knew that relationship went well, rather than working with somebody brand new. And then investors, are wanting to invest in projects, but if they don't know you and know how you are, kind of like your personality, are you a good person, are you going to do right by me, then they're not going to want to invest in projects. So relationships have always been key for me. I always try to build amazing relationships with people that I have, and I'm always networking every single day still, just to keep building the relationship base that I have. Because I love getting to know people, their stories, and how I can help them. Because I'll introduce, them to people that I know, and connections. If they're looking for like a certain architect, developer, I'll email intro them, so that that they can start the conversation to themselves.
Being a good networker, being a good connector. I mean, I have friends that like yourself that they know everybody and everybody knows them, and
Mhm.
they always can give you a referral, or
Right.
they'll reach out to you and go, "Hey, I talked to this guy and I think you two might be a fit."
Right.
That really makes a difference. How did you get good at all of this with setting up relationships? How did you learn to do it? And how did it come together for you over the years?
I mean, I kind of learned it on my own. I mean, I was like, well, people want to know genuinely who you are.
Hmm.
Because, like, you could get a couple of drinks in you and you could, become a completely different person. And so, it's like, okay, who are you, and how, why'd you change from this person and this person? And, like, it's like, okay, now do I really trust you? Because now you're acting like a totally different person than what you told me who you are,
Hmm.
So it's like, I try to keep it very genuine to people. With who I naturally am, and I don't sugarcoat it, and I don't change who I am, so that
Hmm.
in any arena that I'm put in, people know that I'm genuinely with the person that I naturally am. And I love networking and building relationships with people. I keep it about them, and what they're needing as well. Not just me, because the it man, like, you want to make the world go around in a better place,
Hmm.
and people, and you want other people to trust one another. And so I try to do that as well. Like, I try to stand by my word, and who I am and what I do. And and if I'm presenting to like a group of investors, I'm like, hey, these are the numbers, there's what we're looking for with the ROI and stuff like that, so that when we get to the project and we get to the development and the construction piece, I am, on the phone with you like every day, like, hey, this is what's going on, these are the pitfalls, this is what's happening, this is how we're correcting it, and this is how we're moving forward, rather than not saying anything, kind of being nonchalant, sending them, like the quarterly views, every quarter, like, hey, this is what's going on in the project. It's like, dude, how come you didn't tell me this like 3 months ago, prior, before you sending me, the financials and what's going on, so it's like building trust with people, being my authentic self. And because, I would want that for me, like, I would
Hmm.
want somebody to show that to me. So why not show that to them, first,
Hmm.
first and foremost. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well,
Yeah.
this has been pretty insightful, and it's just awesome that you've developed this just over the last, what, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, too.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's I mean, you sound like you work extremely hard. You
Yeah.
network hard, and you're building great relationships. And I applaud you. I think that's just going to make great for your future, and
Oh, thank you.
make you the largest. What did you say in 5 to 10 years? The largest.
Yeah, the biggest real estate investment and development firm in the Southeast.
That would be awesome. Are there any competitors that you have your eyes on that you
I don't
maybe?
You know what? I don't pay attention to competitors. I'm more
Mhm.
so about collaboration beats competition. And so, if I can collaborate with people and help them grow and develop and learn, that's that's all that I'm wanting. I don't look at my competitors and see what they're doing. I focus on me and my team and the people that I bring on and the people that I have in my circle and how I can better other people, because I worry more so about that than I do about other competitors and what they're doing, because it just, it wouldn't help me in any way. then you'd be stressing about, oh, they're doing this, and oh, why can't I do that? And then you're worrying about things that you shouldn't worry about. So I focus on me, how I can better myself every single day. I'm reading books, listening to podcasts, bettering my mind and my mental health, to make sure that I'm all in sync, and make sure that the people around me are well taken care of as well.
There you go. There you go. Well, Crystal, it's been wonderful to talk to you. Anything more we need to tease out on your company and you and what you do?
They could check out my website at CLouCapital.com. And also they could follow me on LinkedIn at CLou, or message me there if people have questions and or concerns, and wanting to, schedule a Calendary. I have my Calendary link in my LinkedIn, but anybody can message me there as well to chat.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Crystal. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you and continued success. Thanks, Monettes, for tuning in. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Everything we're doing over there. Go to our big group on LinkedIn. Also, our big LinkedIn newsletter. Subscribe to that as well. And Chris Voss, leadershipinstitute.com. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.